Hey everyone, welcome back to The Nerve. Now that the world has been underwhelmed by season 1, part B of With Love, Meghan, I will not call it season 2. In my opinion, it is not. It is season 1, part B in the can at the same time as part A dropped over the spring. It was very much if a tree falls for Netflix. You know, if a tree falls in the forest, nobody hears it. Does it fall? If Meghan Markle drops a crappy show on Netflix, nobody watches it, does it count? That show did not even dent the top 10. And it ranked, the last we checked last week, I'm sure it's plummeted even further down the charts. It ranked 383rd in the watch list. So that means Meghan Markle isn't even a hate watch anymore. She's she's not even putting points on the board. Okay. So as promised last week, because we did not have enough time and we really needed to get into the meat and the guts of this thing, we are going to take apart the bonkers interview that Meghan did with Bloomberg. This was a video interview. Okay. Now Bloomberg is ostensibly a business publication. Not that you would know it from. This is all too often a thing that is happening in the culture. And again, it's got to stop. We at The Nerve exist to push back and say, hey, you so-called journalists out there, knock it off. You're making it look bad for the rest of us. This is one of the most embarrassing, sycophantic, please like me interviews I have seen in a long time. And that is saying something. Here's a striking fact you might not know. I sure did not. The number one risk factor for mortality isn't obesity. It's not heart disease. It's high blood pressure. That's right. 1 in every 2 adults has high blood pressure. And I've had a parent have to take that medication. And once you get on it, it's almost like you're never getting off of it. And then the high blood pressure begins to have a domino effect on the body's overall health. But there is a way to stop it before it even begins. This product, I'm excited to tell you about it. It's new, it's natural, and it can stop high blood pressure from ever developing. It's called 120 Life. It comes in powder form, it comes in juice form, and it's formulated to not only support healthy blood pressure, it also aids in muscle recovery after workouts. It supports healthy blood flow and liver function, and it is loaded with antioxidants, which are key to suppressing inflammation and the advanced aging that comes with that. But don't just take my word for it. 120 Life is trusted by over 1,000 health professionals, and people who have tried it love it. Go see the testimonials for yourself over at 120life.com. So why not give it a try? If you don't see measurable, impactful results within 2 weeks, they will give you your money back. This thing is zero risk and all reward. And they are offering a special discount to our troublemakers, 15% off your first order. Just go to 120life.com and use the code NERVE, that's NERVE, to save 15%. You can track your progress, by the way, with a simple blood pressure monitor. Watch your numbers drop and feel the difference. Again, this is a risk-free offer. So if you don't see lower numbers in 2 weeks, you get your money back. Go to 120life.com. That's 120life.com. And remember to use code NERVE to save 15%. This is serious. This is your health and your life. 120 Life can help in simple, delicious, provable ways. Don't wait. Take control of your health today. The quote-unquote journalist here is one Emily Chang, who took herself to Montecito to speak to our Duchess in person, who you're going to see her doing a lot of work, a lot of body language work, a lot of laughter, head throwing back work. We're laughing at things that aren't even funny. We're taking slings and arrows that are personal insults, and we're acting like we're bonding over here. It's wild. It's wild. And, you know, it's wild also because Meghan Markle's over here still trying to market herself as a down-to-earth yet royal hostess nonpareil, whose job is to teach all of us how to be gracious and make people feel comfortable and warm and relaxed in our presence. And here she is being queen bitch as usual. Just my opinion. This interview has it all. Meghan reintroducing herself like the titular character. This is all I could think of the whole time in Sympathy for the Devil by the Rolling Stones. Please allow me to reintroduce myself. I'm the man, the woman without a name. It's the devil. For the 8 millionth time, we have a reintroduction to one Meghan Markle. I'm so exhausted. She finds new ways to assault the English language and our own sensibilities through her self-help bullshit. The jargon. Oh my God, we've got new stuff. You thought Learnings was bad? Learnings is her CEO jargon. While being completely rooted in herself, by the way. She's going to tell us she's completely rooted in herself. Yet she's still searching for answers to the most basic questions about who she is and why the world perceives her, again, as a queen bitch. In other words, this is a banger. It is a banger. Grab your coffee, grab your popcorn, grab your cocktail of choice, troublemakers, wherever you are in the world. Grab what you love to settle in with, and let's do this. Meghan, when is it that you feel the least royal? Now, I'm going to give you a slight spoiler alert, but you guys know this already. When Meghan feels the least royal is not when she's making the remaining days of a dying Prince Philip or a dying Queen Elizabeth II in utter misery, nor when she's fleeing Buckingham Palace in the metaphorical dead of night with her beta royal husband holding his balls in her designer handbag as they fly on Tyler Perry's private jet to Montecito, where they're going to sit down with Oprah Winfrey and sling some baseless, my opinion, accusations retracted later by Harry that they said the royal family was racist. It's not that. Okay? Take a look.
When do you feel the least Duchess of Sussex?
Oh my God. Sitting here eating a smash burger with you being asked these questions.
So if you're listening, again, I'm gonna just gently nudge you. Watch this on YouTube because it's all in the expressions, the micro expressions, the body language. Okay, Emily says, when do you feel the least royal? And, you know, Meghan's taking a bite of her potato chip and she's like, I'm stunned. I'm stunned you would ask me this. And then she's like searching and she literally sits back in her chair like this. Emily's across the table from her. So you're Emily and I'm Meghan. And Meghan's like this, like she's pushing Emily away metaphorically. Like, how dare you ask me that question? And then her answer, which she should have been prepared for a question like this. Okay. Her answer is sitting here with you, eating a burger, answering these questions. Like, fuck you, Meghan. This is free publicity for your shit show over on Netflix that even over there they know is a loser. And we're going to get to that quote. And it's a money quote from someone in charge, from a real head bitch in charge. And I use that phrase with the utmost reverence because we can all respect a real head bitch in charge. Okay. Now, Emily Chang, in all of her servitude, in her preamble, I believe, to this question, or maybe it's baked into the question, forgive me. Emily is going to blame all of us, the would-be viewers, consumers out here for being really thick. It's our fault why Meghan, in the 5 years since she has relanded herself stateside, why she hasn't been able to get a single project flying off the ground, despite hundreds of millions of dollars from the likes of Netflix and Spotify and Lemonada. And now we've got the A-list keeping their collective distance. But let's see if we can crack this case by blaming a discerning public with not that much disposable income to spend as it is. Let's do it.
The big question is, can Meghan have a second act as an entrepreneur and a tastemaker? Can she succeed on her own terms? And will a highly skeptical world even let her?
Oh, will a highly skeptical world even let her? You know, to just pitch to our block at the end of the show, to our last segment on intuition. We don't even need intuition to know this woman's a total fraud. Just my opinion. Can Meghan have a second act? Emily. This is Meghan's like 12th act. Okay. She's been on the scene forever. So we all reject the premise. It is not our responsibility to make Meghan Markle profitable, let alone likable, let alone a success. That is her job, okay? And it is painful for us to watch you as our quote unquote intermediary doing your best to lob softball after softball at Meghan, who has two expressions. No, I'll give you three. First expression is this. Beatific. I'm trying to be beatific. I'm trying to be like, you can't read what I'm thinking. The second, you caught me off guard and I'm just going to try to look cloyingly cute. And the third is like, that's when the mask drops. That's when you get the black-eyed laser stare anger, okay? So Meghan has done enough of these interviews by now that she should know what's coming. Her team, you know, she cycles through people. We know this. We're not even going to get into that. But like if she had a loyal staff, they would have watched all the game film, what I call the game film, all of her prior interviews. They would have read through all the print ones. They would have pumped them through AI and said, here's the top 10 questions you get asked all the time, lady. Let's get some answers going that you can have at the ready. If I'm a perfectionist, like Meghan claims to be, that's what I'm doing. I'm coming loaded for bear. I'm prepared, you know, but could it be that our resident perfectionist hasn't done the homework?
If you could choose one thing for people to know the truth about you, what would that one thing be?
The one thing. Oh gosh, what's the one thing?
I love this. So there are two things I love about this. First, Emily leans in and she's very serious and she's going to ask the question nobody has asked. Trust me. It's been asked. If there is one thing you want people to know, the one thing you feel is like a misperception. I'm going to read into that question a little bit. So Meghan's been asked this question a million fucking times and she sits there and she goes, one thing. And she's looking up at the heavens for an answer, for some kind of help. And here's where the editors are really fucking with her. And they're fucking with Emily too, because in comes the jaunty keyboard music. Dun, 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 dun. And then up comes the show chyron over her face, the circuit. And so many seconds have elapsed that we've got all this time to bring in the music and the title card while Meghan continues to search the top of the ceiling in somebody else's living room to try to find the goddamn answer to who she is. It's so great. I mean, really, don't watch it. It's painful. Okay. It's really painful to watch this. Now, Meghan, that great thinker, she brings Emily to her, what she says is her favorite bookstore in Montecito or Santa Barbara, whatever, to talk books. So this is a gem.
What's your guilty pleasure? Are you like a thrillers?
Oh my gosh.
Trashy romance?
Well, I spend so much time reading children's books. And you have four kids?
Yes, I do.
So, you know,
Meghan doesn't care.
4 and 6. And so at the end of the night, I do that. And then I haven't really gotten into a book in a long time.
I know, it's hard. I also read a lot of children's books.
Meghan doesn't care.
Self-help.
Yeah, and then my late night indulgence now is just a lot of Duolingo. Do you ever do that? Oh, it's great.
When I can find the time, what are you Duolingoing?
I'm Duolingoing French.
Yeah.
I committed to relearning it, and so
goodness,
yeah,
I'd love to do that.
Sure.
It's really fun.
So in the beginning of that clip, Emily's doing a lot of body work as they get into there. She's like, so what do you like to read? What's your guilty pleasure? Is it like romance? Is it thriller? And Meghan's just like, just going like, in her egg yolk yellow ensemble. She's like, yeah, you know, oh gosh. This is Meghan. Oh gosh, oh golly, oh goodness, oh gee whiz. Nobody talks like this, okay? And then she goes on to say she's got kids, so all she has time to read are bedtime stories to her children. And then she's too exhausted at the end of any given day to read for pleasure, even like, say, like a trashy tabloid that she's in. And we know, just my opinion, that she's reading every single tabloid she's in, every single Radar Online piece, every TMZ piece, every Daily Mail piece. We know you're in the comment section, Meghan, allegedly, reportedly, my suspicion. So that's bullshit. And if she wanted to make herself likable, she could admit as much. But no, she says, what I do is I'm learning French. I'm relearning French at night. Yeah, it makes sense, right? Because when you're cognitively depleted at the end of a day, having gotten two small children down to bed finally, what do you want to do other than tackle learning a foreign language? Now, a little more from Meghan on how she engages with book culture in her fancy, celebrity-studded seaside town.
So I saw that you were at the opening of this place with Oprah, and you talked about how bookstores felt like a safe space. Tell me about that.
You know, I think bookstores, you can find your story there. You can find some version of your story or what feels true to you in it. And within all those pages, it's just such a great space for discovery. And I think that makes people feel safe.
She's such an idiot. She's like a well-educated moron. Any real reader, and I speak as a real reader, goes into bookstores not looking for a mirror. I'm not looking to see myself. I mean, it's one thing if you're going in and you're looking for, like if you're in grief and you're looking for books on grief, things like that. But like if you're an actual avid reader, you go in and you're in a bookstore because it's like, wow, all of these different lives and eras and epochs and times in history and people who experience things I'll never experience, for good or for ill. The pages will transport me and take me elsewhere. And that is the magic of reading. And this fucking limited, malignant narcissist, just my opinion, is in there looking to find herself and her safe space. And she thinks other people go into bookstores to want to feel safe. Now, let's get a dose of what story and narrative mean to this brain trust over here. While she employs some, a jargon that she's been picking up from the likes of the only people who will hang out with her in Montecito, as far as I can tell, those dim bulbs like Jeannie, Carlina.
How important is it to own your own story?
Oh, it's the most important thing in the world.
Do you feel like you own your own story?
I know I do. And if you know me, you know that I do. I think there are always going to be moments where you feel as though a story is being told about some caricature of you that actually has nothing to do with you. And that can be really hard to reconcile. But I think the more comfortable you get with yourself, certainly age helps. I'll be 44. It's great. It's great. And I just think there really is a lot of value to when you anchor into your own knowing, then you're telling your own story. You're telling your own story and how you show up in the world, what you do. You actually don't need to say anything. You can show who you are.
So we're going through this again. Do you own your own story? It's been 5 years. She's had no shortage of outlets. Netflix, Spotify, Lemonada, et cetera, now this. There's no story to tell. Or there is a story to tell and she'd like to keep it buried. And I think it has to do with her upbringing. Just my opinion. And I think it has to do with her machinations and social climbing and her intent that she was going to land a big fish. And I think it has to go with her plot from the very beginning to get her husband out of there, because she realized she was not going to be the queen, or as is reported to have come out of Meghan's mouth by more than one person, she was one helicopter crash away from the throne, allegedly, reportedly. Anchor into your own knowing. What that means, I have no idea. Another who keeps escalating, it's one Bill Maher, who this week had as his podcast guest Barbara Eden, the beloved Barbara Eden from I Dream of Jeannie. Barbara turned 94 just days ago, and she comes into Bill's den. You know how we feel about the den. She is nonetheless the epitome of grace and class, and you can tell that she went over to this interview in good faith, that she was being interviewed by somebody who liked and respected her. She's 94, okay? She's paid her fucking dues in that town, okay? And we're doing this segment, by the way, in large part because so many of you troublemakers emailed and DM'd us to alert us to this particular episode of Club Random, that we needed to see it and to cover it. And if you go look at my Instagram, Maureen Callahan Writer, I also included in my carousel some of the feedback underneath Bill's episode, this particular episode, because you all alerted me that like even his fans were like, Bill, what the fuck? Here we go. Bill, the great feminist, pressing Barbara on sexism.
Even in the 60s, the way, especially in show business, what people got away with, especially a hottie like you. I mean, they must have, well, everybody must have been taking their shot. And some, I'm sure, in a way that you could never get away with today.
I did not have a problem.
Come on.
No, I didn't.
Nobody ever just took their pants off or?
Nope.
Really?
No.
So that's the beginning. And, you know, my heart sinks when I look at her expression after he says, while picking his nose, the epitome of a gentleman, nobody ever just took their pants off in front of you. And she looks down and she goes, no. You can tell she knows where this is going. Now, again, much as he ever does, Bill does not do research for his podcast. And by the way, he's got a staff, okay? He could task someone with doing a modicum of research to know the bare bones about his guests, so they don't have to inform him about basic biographical facts, such as Barbara has been married to the same man for 36 years. Bill moves on, undeterred, to give Barbara a backhanded compliment.
I mean, no one thinks you're 35, but I mean, like, you're just...
Why not?
But you're just like all I'm trying to do, I'm almost 70, is just be on TV generically late middle age. You know, that's as good as you can get. You just don't want people turning on the TV and going, oh, who's that old guy? You know, just don't think about it at all. I mean, you still have that quality at your age, which is pretty amazing. Like you could play somebody's mother who's middle-aged.
Oh my God. He starts by saying, no one thinks you're 35. And he ends by saying, you could play somebody's mother, which in Hollywood, to an actress, everybody knows is one of the most insulting things you could say to them. I mean, that's crazy in and of itself, but you know what I'm saying. And then Bill, in the sandwich of those two insults, says, hey, you know, I'm 70. So first of all, Barbara Eden is old enough to be his mother, okay? He sits there and says, I'm 70. I'm just trying to be on TV generically and have nobody say like, oh, there's that old guy. You know what, Bill? We're all fucking saying it now. There's that old perv. There's that old guy who still hasn't gotten the memo about how you talk to women in 2025. At least give it a shot. Try to hide how creepy and misogynistic you are. And Barbara, by the way, she keeps trying to redirect the conversation into something more substantial than her looks and what a beauty she was back then. You know, she talks about being a big reader as a child and how when she was little and young, she would go to the library and get like 4 books a week. And I so relate to this part of her story. It's really sweet. And that tells you something about a kid who's a big reader. You know, their mind is going places that need to be fertilized, right? But Bill does not give a shit. No. What is the most important thing? That she was hot. Here we go.
When did everyone catch on you were so hot?
Hot?
Yeah. I mean...
You know what? I don't know because...
Come on, it must
No,
have...
honestly.
School? Come on. Oh, stop. I mean, you must have been like such a smoke show in high school.
A smoke show? I like
Yeah.
that.
You can have it.
Okay, I want to be a smoke show.
You are a smoke show.
Oh,
But
God.
it must have... I mean, come on.
she's trying to politely laugh him off of this stuff. Because if she opens that door for him, and not that it would be her fault, then he's going to want to know when she lost her virginity and what her like. That's the kind of guy you're dealing with. You're dealing with the lonely, sad perv who's by himself every night at the end of the bar, parked there because at least the bartender will have to talk to him. Now, Barbara talks about the concept of I Dream of Jeannie. You know, she was the genie in a bottle, and you could, you know, bring her out of the bottle. And she's trying to get at something about the period, about 1960s America, about where women were, about where feminism was and sexism was. And she talks about, to Bill, she's trying to go a little deeper. And she talks about Jeannie's quote unquote master, the man of the house, knowing that Jeannie wasn't human. And she was trying to imply, and anybody who's paying attention would get it, that the master would have sex with her anyway, and how creepy that was, right? Because it's not an actual female. But Bill blows right past this, because you know what we got to talk about? We've got to talk about Bill Maher seeing his first Playboy magazine when he was a babysitter. First of all, Bill Maher as a babysitter, could you imagine? The guy cannot shut up about how much he hates babies and hates kids. And in fact, first of all, I'm just going to tell you, while I was watching this, and Marlena took a lot of the hits for this, and she's got a thing for Bill, and I'm trying to help her through it. She won't listen. We may have to just bring her on to get her through it together. But I actually was feeling nauseated listening to this. You know, he told Drew Barrymore a couple of weeks ago that he's never even held a baby. And I don't think he was trying to be funny. It's all just very sad. It's very sad, you know? So anyway, Bill now goes on to talk about male maturity, because who better? And truly, truly hold a thought for Barbara here.
And men take an especially long time to mature, to the degree that they even do. Right?
Yes.
Wouldn't you agree with that?
I just think it's great. That I love that part about a man. I think men who are manly, you know, and suddenly you discover that they care, or they're crying in the movie. You'll see a tear come down on the cheek.
Oh.
I love it.
Oh, nothing wettens panties like that.
I think that I'm pretty hard to shock. So first of all, my inner grammarian is astonished that he said, appalled that he said nothing wettens panties like that. He said WETTENS, not a word, but he said that to Barbara Eden. As she's talking about the kind of guy that she likes, who is like an old school macho guy who can show emotion, basically the antithesis of Bill. And Bill knows it. So he's got to shiver. He's got to shiv Barbara Eden and say nothing wets panties like that. And what he means is, to Barbara, nothing would wet your panties like that. He is disgusting. Disgusting. Now let's hear Bill on what, this is great. I find this very interesting. Bill's going to talk about what makes a hot guy a hot guy.
I tell you, the male stars of the 60s and 70s, they were hot. Like, in a way, they forgot how to be. Robert Conrad, come on. Tell me you didn't have a little crush on Robert Conrad.
I'm going to tell you, those guys from the 60s, who was hot? I'm not saying anything. I'm just saying. Now, Bill has to tell Barbara, because he never tires of this. Like all incels, they perseverate. They perseverate on the girls who would never give them the time of day, which is just about every girl going. And the problem, you know, with girls who just won't sleep with the nice guy, and it's all their fault that guys like him are fucking angry and miserable. Here we go.
There's incels.
Oh, yeah.
Those are guys, you know who that is, involuntarily celibate. They're
Yeah.
guys who can't get laid,
Yeah.
which, you know, no shame. I used to be an incel. We didn't have a name for it.
Yeah.
I didn't want to advertise that I can't get laid.
Yeah.
I didn't want to join a club with other
do it
fucking
all the
losers
time,
who
Bill.
can't get laid. It was like, you can't get laid. Well, do something about it. You know, I masturbated and plotted how I could get better. Okay. And they don't do that today. They just hate on them. They blame the women.
Yeah.
And the women are like, men are, forget it. There's a whole movement now, you know, like just, they're just irredeemable. You're not going to bring them along. And all of this plays right into the hands of the guys who least need to get laid. Because in a world where women are so cynical about men that they think, why even try? You might as well just fuck the cute guy. You might just fuck the fuck boy. So it just makes the problem worse.
Yeah, I guess. Hadn't thought about it.
I'm really speechless. Like, I'm kind of agog. He tells Barbara Eden, who doesn't want to know this stuff? I don't want to know this stuff. That he was such an incel in school that what he would do was just go home and masturbate. He uses the word masturbate in front of her. This is supposed to be like a softball, fun interview. I would think going through Barbara's life and legacy, not Bill's trouble getting laid in fucking high school, and how it's a real problem now because girls just want to, they'd rather today, in Bill's, I'm using his parlance, fuck the cute guy. Bill, it's always been that way. It's been ever thus. We want good-looking guys. That's how it is. It's called evolution. And it's the reason why you are so intent on getting rich and famous. It's the only way you could get girls or black hookers. Tomato, tomato. Anyway, Bill goes on to tell Barbara Eden, 94-year-old Barbara Eden, that she should be on OnlyFans.
And I have a plan for you to go on OnlyFans. Would you?
It's too late for
There's
me.
a question.
I'm
Would
beyond.
you know how, you could make a fortune on OnlyFans. I'll manage it. I'll be the manager. I'll take
okay.
a very reasonable 20%.
Now she's laughing along, and this is before she admits that she doesn't know what OnlyFans is. But I'm going to tell you, at this point in the interview, she knows that Bill is degrading her. Okay, let's go.
You know what OnlyFans, right?
You what?
OnlyFans? What that is?
Are you my only fan?
No, there's a whole organization, a whole website called
heartbreaking.
OnlyFans.
Oh, no, I don't know about that.
No?
No,
Oh,
no.
sit down.
Okay.
No, even deeper. Sit even lower.
Okay,
Because
now
Now
this
he's
is-
grabbing her.
this
He's
is
grabbing
gonna
for
fall-
her.
This is not going to
knee.
come as
He
good
doesn't reach
news.
it.
Okay, well, I mean, it's a website that advertises as a place where people can do anything, show you how to cook or write poetry. It's women masturbating or showing their vaginas to men who are paying them electronically to watch them. And it's very, very popular, and millions of women. It's a big thing.
Hasn't it always been that?
No, not like this. I mean, there weren't millions of American
Okay, that's it. I
women
can't do this anymore.
who-
I can't even listen to Bill Maher do this to Barbara Eden anymore. He was extremely graphic. He was extremely disgusting. He was disparaging. He's insulting her. That's a guest in his house. I don't care if that's your studio, whatever it is, it's your house, and she's a guest there. And he's being disgusting. And, you know, we've been beating this drum on Bill Maher ever since he gave his editorial at the end of Real Time months ago during the Diddy trial and said that women were to blame for not leaving the first time the man in their life hits them. And it's our fault. And this guy, he has it fucking coming. Just keep going, Bill. Please keep fucking going. Today's show is brought to you by Oxford Natural. If you're trying to lose weight, whether it's after having a baby or you're prepping for a wedding or you're just ready to feel like yourself again, and you feel like it's just so tough, it is possible. And there is a method that thousands of men and women across the US and the UK are doing it with. That is Oxford Natural. Their Optimum Day powers you with steady energy, it crushes cravings, and it keeps your metabolism firing all day long. Optimum Night helps you relax, sleep deeply, recover, and keep burning fat while you rest. England's soccer legend Michael Owen lost 40 pounds, and Robbie, the face of AFTV, dropped over 100 pounds. Now it's your turn. Scan the QR code or click the link and grab 70% off your first order with code NERVE. No gimmicks, no needles, just results. Oxford Natural. Let's get to work. Oh, how I have been waiting for this. I've just been waiting for the right moment. Ryan Reynolds. That's right, Mr. Blake Lively. You know, Blake's got this ongoing lawsuit against Justin Baldoni. We here at Team Nerve, at Nerve Central, we opened up the Woodshed this weekend just for Ryan, whose reputation has somehow remained largely unscathed in the culture, which surprises me. I mean, he married this monster, so how great can he be, really? Right? Really. I've never liked him. You know, everybody's like, oh, Ryan Reynolds, doesn't he seem like such a great, fun guy? Doesn't he seem like just so wholesome and cool? And like, no, never, not to me. I would run the other way from that guy if I saw him coming. Number one, I think his eyes are dead. I think he has dead eyes. I think he sold out whatever little shred of humanity he had left climbing that greasy pole of Hollywood. I do. I think he's made many compromises along the way that have extinguished any real life force, and now it's all dark. I think it's a black effing hole. I think it's a black hole. This guy, when he smiles, those eyes do not light up ever. They never come alive. And it's like he's got this smile that almost just feels like it's one size fits all. Like it's always the same smile. And he's got what I also find extremely creepy in middle-aged men. I mean, it's a creepy trait anyway, but in a middle-aged man who's a father of four, he's got this like aw shucks demeanor, which I find extremely unsettling, extremely. And I'm going to say lastly, at least for today's purposes, this guy, the flop sweat, the level of desperation that comes through my screen every time I see him. It's so obvious that he wants everyone, and I mean everyone, to like him. And I think anyone who wants everyone to like them is broken beyond repair. It's one of the earliest lessons you should learn as a kid. That, hey, not everybody's going to like you. You're not going to like everybody, and not everybody's going to like you. And you just have to deal with it. Be yourself and move on as best you can in the world, right? No, everybody's got to like fucking Ryan Reynolds, who's married to the Queen of Darkness over here. You know, I mean, we say Oprah's the mistress of the dark arts. Blake, we'll come up with a proper name for her. We haven't really had enough time. Now, I think, just my opinion, don't sue me, Blake, and you can't because it's just my opinion and it's First Amendment shit, okay, you bitch? I think Ryan Reynolds is a psychopath. I think he is. I think he has no problem continuing to bankroll his wife's bullshit lawsuit, which I think at this point he knows is bullshit. He's not an idiot, this guy. I think they are united in their plan. In what I suspect, just my opinion, was Blake Lively's plan to smear Justin Baldoni as a sexual harasser, at least, and wrest away control of all the Colleen Hoover novels. He's got, I believe, if the last reporting I read still holds, that he owns the rights to the sequel to It Ends With Us, which I think was really a prequel, but that doesn't matter. She wants that material, and she wanted to make herself the auteur, which is just laughable. Laughable. So you know where I'm going, right? Now, The Woodchipper awaits. Our beloved Woodchipper awaits. But first, we're going to make Ryan do his time in the woodshed. And for the crime that we are prosecuting him for, you're not getting any bail, Ryan. No bail. We are prosecuting him for his contemptible behavior with a child journalist on a red carpet this weekend. Okay, take a look.
I'm a monster. I know. I'm so sorry. What's your question for me, buddy?
Hi, Ryan. Nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you. Let's skip to the question.
Why is there so much support?
First of all, you know how one of our mantras at The Nerve is these people tell you who they are and believe them, even if they're saying it with a smile or a wink and a nod or they're laughing. He says first in this clip, I'm a monster. I concur, Ryan Reynolds. I think you're a fucking monster. Secondly, then he bends down very solicitously, if that's a word, to this child. Bet makes a big show. I'm bending down. I'm going to get down on your wavelength, okay? And I'm going to smack that really insincere smile on my face. And I'm going to lift my eyebrows up. And I'm going to pretend I'm interested in whatever bullshit you have to say, little kid. And you know what else I'm going to say to you? Let's skip right to the question, okay? Don't tell me how great it is to meet me. I already know. I know how fucking great it is to meet me. This guy has it coming. And the nerve exists because people like you, Ryan, have been getting glad-handed throughout the media these many years. It stops now. To kick off this segment, I would like to talk about Jennifer Aniston, who is on the cover of the new issue of Vanity Fair. Not that that really means anything anymore because magazines are dying, but there is a big discussion to be had because she's all over the place right now. She is in this feature story, this profile, which we'll get to, she is criticizing the media while participating, again, in a Vanity Fair cover story, okay, for her Apple TV show about the media in which she portrays a morning show host. Excuse me, a serious journalist. Now, the morning show is coming back soon, and we will be covering it. I think it's going to be our new Troublemaker Hate Watch. But I want to say this. If you want to watch something really good about the news industry, watch The Newsreader. It's on AMC Plus streaming. I just started this thing, and I am so hooked on it. I'm actually going through it slowly because I'm trying to savor it. It's Australian, and this thing has won a ton of awards. It's like a huge commercial success. It's a critical success. It stars Anna Torv, who you may know. I know her from David Fincher's Mindhunter. She was the lone female, and in this show, she plays the first female newsreader. It's set in the 80s in Australia. And then her co-star is this guy, Sam Reed, who's like this young up-and-comer. And they have this relationship that's very fraught, but like she's in love with him and he's not in love with her. And you'll realize why pretty early on. But like what they're both really in love with is the news and breaking news and covering the news. And it's all of the stories that they cover are actual real stories. Like the series opens with the Challenger explosion and how that was covered in Australia. And it's so good. It's so great. And by the way, so in doing a little just deep dive, because I knew I was going to recommend this show to you guys, Anna Torv, it turns out her paternal aunt is a woman named Anna de Peister, if I'm saying that correctly. And Anna was married to Rupert Murdoch for 31 years. She's the mother of Lachlan and Elizabeth and James Murdoch. So this actress is cousins with the people who are going to be running, it's wild, okay? But so anyway, that show, The Newsreader, is everything that the morning show, you know what, I would say wishes it could be, but I don't think that it's a brain trust over there. Like, I don't think they would look at something like, I don't even think they know it exists. There, I said it. Now, in this piece, Jennifer Aniston says that the inspiration for her character of Alex Levy, who is pretty flat, as many of Jen's characters are, and I think there's a reason. The inspiration is Diane Sawyer, which I don't believe. I think it sounds good, but or maybe she thinks it is really. Now, first, this Vanity Fair spread to me, if you look at, I'm going to show you some of the photos, the spread. What does this remind you of? Like, to me, this is very Meghan Markle coded. I am in $10,000 at least. No, these are $20,000 worth of clothes. And I look like I'm out in English fucking countryside. And I've got my hands in a pot. And then there's another one here where she's again in like a custom made dress, practically, probably, hosing down the lawn. And then there's another one where she's got some kind of rusty implement, but she's wearing, get the fuck out of here. Okay. Now we get this quote from Jen on the Brad Angie love triangle of the mid-aughts. Brad famously left his wife, Jennifer Aniston, for his co-star, Angelina Jolie. And all three of them benefited from it. I'm not saying it wasn't very painful for Jennifer Aniston. It clearly was. But here's what she has to say about it now. In this piece, quote, "It was such juicy reading for people. If they didn't have their soap operas, they had their tabloids." Now that is a big FU to the very people who made Jennifer Aniston, all of us, a woman wealthy beyond her wildest dreams, okay? And if she wants to say that it's our fault for reading about this and turning to it because us knuckle-dragging morons out here, we didn't have our soap operas to turn to, so we had to turn to this so we could amuse ourselves with our sad little lives. Who's on the cover of the September issue of Vanity Fair in 2005? But one Jennifer Aniston. Okay, that's the biggest issue of the year for magazines, the September issues. It's when they get the most advertising. She knew. She's a very media savvy person. She's been famous since she was in her 20s. She's shot by Mario Testino, a guy who shot Princess Diana. Okay, her tell-all. She's half naked on the cover, and she's even more naked inside. Her tell-all. The headline. And Vanity Fair shaded her. They shivved her. Okay, they got the exclusive. Everybody wanted the first exclusive with Jennifer Aniston, post Brad. Okay, so the headline is Jen finally talks, ! And underneath the subhead, Vanity Fair wrote the following: and cries, comma, and cries, comma, and talks, comma, and cries. They're making fun of her. And, they all, Brad and Angie, look what they did on the cover of W Magazine back then. They were all participating in this media frenzy. And so stop it. Just stop. Okay? Now, on to the new boyfriend, one Jim Curtis, a professional hypnotist. I mean, I've been to space and I've never met a professional hypnotist. I run in pretty high level circles now. I guess not high enough. Now, Jim is a self-published self-help author, our favorite kind here at The Nerve. And before we get into this book, it is an insult to books to call this a book. Let's look at him on Instagram with his little tutorials on how we all out here can self-actualize. Here's one for you.
Here's how to get exponentially happier. The first is stop trying to impress. You don't need to impress anyone. Being your authentic self and comfortable with it will alleviate so much stress and anxiety. Second, reduce your consumption. You don't need to worry about the money that you need to buy more clothing. Third is practice gratitude for when you recognize what you already have in your life. Even more of it comes.
Gratitude, that's Mel Robbins 101. Don't worry about money. Easy to say when you're rolling in those circles and you're grifting around town as some sort of self-help guru. I don't know this guy's education. I doubt he majored in philosophy, the works of great literature, psychology, what have you. And then he says, did he say be your own authentic self? I don't think it was like a deliberate portmanteau. I think he meant to say be your own self or be your authentic self and stop trying to impress. But let me tell you something. There's only one way a civilian like that gets into A-list circles like Jennifer Aniston's, and that's by learning how to impress people. So he's a liar, in my opinion. Okay. Tutorial number 2.
Repeat after me. Love comes easily to me because I am love, I am loving, and I am lovable.
I would add, I'm a moron to that. I mean, he's obviously not a total moron because he's making money doing this shit and whatever, but like, you know, he's a good looking guy who found a hustle. And the stuff he's repeating is like, our third and final. I won't put you through much more of this. Here we go.
Repeat after me. I am grateful for where I am, excited for what's next. I release the pain of the past and step into the pleasure of the future.
Oprah should have this guy on. And this whole repeat after me thing, it sounds like he's like, it's like a kind of, the not blinking very much. And like, feels mind controlly to me. It does. Okay. Now, his book, by the way, okay, I'm just going to show you a couple of things. I think I posted a little bit on Instagram, but his book is called Shift, Quantum Manifestation Physics. No, but he's implying Quantum Manifestation Guide, a workbook for coding a new consciousness with guided visualizations inside. It's co-authored by a woman named Sarah Hadir. Okay, let's take a look at, one extract, alignment. First of all, look at the level of font in here. Okay, 100-year-old people, centenarians don't need font this big. This is taking up space. Alignment means actively preparing yourself to receive what you desire. This is about doing the work to create an inner environment that supports what you're trying to attract. He's got QR codes in here. Here's a workbook page. Write down what you want. Then over here, there's a QR code, which I did link to, and which sends you to some app where you can download his stuff. I mean, it's all horseshit. There's QR code. What is this book? Get out. She deserves what's coming her way. I'm telling you, this guy's a hustler. Now, back to Jennifer Aniston, because not only do I hate watch the morning show, first of all, the character that Reese Witherspoon is playing she's way too old to be playing that character. This is not ageist, but she is supposed to be the young, up and coming protege / all about Eve scenario who wants to skin Jennifer Aniston's character alive and wear her skin and have her life and her money and her fame and her respect. Okay. But no, Reese Witherspoon had to cast herself in it. So it's like 2 middle-aged women, whatever. And then, so Jennifer Aniston plays this woman named Alex Levy. Now she wants, Jen's brand is, I am just America's uncomplicated sweetheart. Okay. I actually suspect that she harbors a lot of rage. And I do think she harbors a tendency toward self-pity. And this became clear to me, was it season 2 or season 3 of the morning show? So she, as Alex Levy, is addressing her audience from her lavishly appointed Manhattan penthouse at the height of COVID. Her character has contracted COVID, and she's addressing her Christ-like persecution in the public square. But make no mistake, actors at this level often, more than not, exhibit a lot of control over what their characters do and don't do, how bad they are allowed to look, often not very bad at all. Tom Hanks only ever plays good guys, except in the case of Colonel Tom Parker in Baz Luhrmann's Elvis. But I digress. I think this is Jennifer Aniston talking to us as Alex Levy. I think this is Jennifer Aniston and her resentments about what extreme fame, privilege, and wealth have brought her in the way of public opinion. And if not, she didn't have the self-awareness to go to the writers and say, I think you should dial this monologue back. Okay, first, let's take a look at part one of this.
But my response to you is, what's your point? Is it that if I deserve it, it allows you to enjoy someone else's pain while feeling morally righteous? And by the way, the world's not fair. Fair is just a man-made concept. So why do you have this opinion? Why do you have an opinion on this? Mind your own store.
That's Alex Levy talking to her audience, who has made her very rich and very famous and very well respected. Why do you get to have an opinion on this? Hey, I get to have an opinion on anybody who shoves their face in front of mine and tries to get me to buy their shit. How much stuff does Jennifer Aniston endorse? Are you kidding me? We all get to have opinions, lady. We get to have them all day long. And you don't have to like them. You don't have to like them. Don't like them. Now, here goes Alex/Jen into and by the way, back in that clip, if you go back and look at it, her lapdog, Mark Duplass. Explain the Duplass brothers to me, okay? Explain them. He's the Alex lapdog on the show. He's just hopelessly in love with her. And as she's doing this like self-righteous thing, he's nodding in the studio with his headset on, like, you go, you fucking go, okay? So here she goes again, under the guise of a feminist shiro, Alex Levy, sticking up for herself. She's not going to say she's sorry. No, ma'am.
I'm done apologizing for myself. Either get on the Alex Levy train or just stay at the station.
First of all, I mean, the head of the network would be involved in this or shutting it down immediately. Like, it would be like a network, like the old movie Network, classic movie level extinction event. And she would be fired if not put on a serious suspension or sent into space with Gail. But I think, you know, that salvo at the end, like, either get on the Alex Levy train or just stay at the station. I think the rest of us would like to stay at the station and wait for the next train. Are you looking to support more made in the USA manufacturing this year? Whether it's home decor, clothing, or furniture, it's becoming extremely difficult to find high quality products that aren't made overseas. A recent Forbes report reveals that annual earnings for small businesses across the United States have dropped by over 75% since 2023. Small businesses in this country are struggling to stay afloat, and with the likes of Amazon and Target dominating the market, it's no wonder. This is where a warehouse comes in. It is your one-stop shop for artisanal, one-of-a-kind home goods made right here. With hundreds of products to choose from, they are deeply committed to supporting American manufacturers. I have a gorgeous, gorgeous candle, handmade from, I found it on a warehouse and I love it. I love it. So I can attest to the quality. Their easy to navigate online marketplace will let you browse a wide range of independent makers, and you can feel great, as you should, knowing that your purchase supports real people upholding transparent and ethical business practices. A warehouse believes that true luxury isn't about fancy labels or big brand names. It's about the dedication, creativity, and care that goes into every product. Help a warehouse hit their goal of supporting over 100 small businesses this year. Head to awarehouseshop.com and use code THENERVE for 15% off your first order. That's awarehouseshop.com, code THENERVE. To another difficult mother in the culture, we've got Chrissy, we've got, my opinion, Meghan, Priscilla Presley. Now, this story has blown my mind. This is like the dark Hollywood stuff where you're like, can this be true? Can this be true? I've seen it in 3 different publications this week. It is part of an actual lawsuit. Now, Priscilla and Elvis's only daughter, their only child, Lisa Marie, died on January 12th, 2023 at 54 years old. And what ensued was a major legal battle between Priscilla and Riley Keough, Lisa Marie's eldest daughter, Priscilla's granddaughter, for control of Graceland, Elvis's estate. And Riley won. And now we are beginning to understand what may have really transpired because Priscilla is being sued. The timing is phenomenal as Priscilla has a new memoir coming out. And what we're about to report is very dark. That said, Elvis and Me, her 1985 memoir, she had a co-writer. I was going to say ghostwriter. She did have a co-writer. That is in the pantheon of celeb memoirs. That thing was a blockbuster when it came out for every just absolute valid reason. But Priscilla is now making the rounds again. We requested, by the way, an advance copy of Priscilla's memoir at the Nerve, but we haven't heard back. So we're just gonna have to wait till it comes out and we'll go through it then. But anyway, Kinsey, look and listen to Priscilla on the Australian morning show Sunrise and watch her demeanor. Again, if you guys are listening, try to tune into this part on the YouTube channel because her facial expressions, I think, are pretty telling. She is asked about her daughter's death. Australian Sunrise. Here we go.
Wow. It's still a little bit difficult for me, to be honest with you. It's a big loss and it's still shocking. I mean, she was a wonderful daughter. She was very talented as well. I think that, looking back, she had issues that for her was difficult to face. And I'm trying to put it all together to, how this happened, why it happened. And to be honest with you, she really didn't, after the loss of her son, she no longer wanted to be here. She, not that she did anything to herself, but she just kind of gave up life and didn't really want to participate in a lot of things that she usually did. So I saw it somewhat coming, but not to the point where, she left us.
Now, the accusation in this lawsuit, which Riley has given a very toothless statement on, alleges that when Lisa Marie was hospitalized after first responders found her unconscious and she was on life support, that Priscilla pulled the plug before Riley could even get there, and against Lisa Marie's stated wishes in writing, and I have them here, I'll show them, that she wanted every measure taken to prolong her life. What do you make of this?
Well, I mean, I think that if you watch the rest of that interview, she bounces back real quick, Maureen. She's smiling and laughing and giggling right into the next question, which is really hard to stomach. But in that, I mean, somebody asks you about how you're dealing with the death of your daughter, you don't start talking about their life struggles and how they had no will to live. You say, I miss her immensely. I'd never been so proud. She's the greatest thing that I'd ever done. I think about her every day. I mean, I don't want to take away from her grief, but that was a really weird answer, especially when you're accused of pulling the plug on her. And don't forget that she did challenge Riley, and Riley settled with her because she knew that the expenses in fighting with an attorney would be way too much. Priscilla was going to drag it out. She's greedy. So they gave, according to these documents for this new lawsuit, they helped Priscilla secure this deal with Riley, where they gave Priscilla $2.4 million and a 7-figure deal for Priscilla's white trash, heinous son, who is not related to the Presley dynasty in any way, shape, or form, who ripped into Lisa Marie regularly on social media. Reddit says when Ben died, he went on Instagram Live and talked horribly about his half-nephew. I mean, this guy deserved zero. I think Priscilla is the greediest and nastiest human ever.
Ben, by the way, is Lisa Marie's son, who died by suicide, and whose death left her so bereft that she had his body moved back into her casita and lived with it for about a month. I mean, she would go visit him every day, his body. The two other things strike me. One is Priscilla Presley looks like an absolute ghoul there. She physically presents as a ghoul, like a bloodless, ghastly, pasty white, vampirically dark hair ghoul who, when asked about her daughter and her death, cannot make eye contact with the hosts through the camera. Instead, she's looking down and she's looking away and she's searching for words and she's speaking a lot. And as you said, someone who is truly in mourning and in sorrow would say, yes, it's my daughter and I miss her every day. And I ask myself, where did I go wrong? Could I have done something differently? I wish she had reached out to me. Now, this idea that she pulled the plug prematurely before Riley could get there, the business partners, the ex-business partners who have brought the lawsuit say that she did that so that she could regain control of Graceland. She's queen of Graceland. Meghan is queen of England in her mind, and Priscilla is queen of Graceland. And the Inquirer, people scoff at the Inquirer, but they do real shoe leather reporting. They got the actual written documents where Lisa Marie Presley initialed vigorously, "My choice to prolong life." It's here. You can see it. And front to back, they're followed by exclamation point, exclamation point, exclamation point. So if Priscilla indeed said, pull the plug, I'm the mother, and in complete just disregard of Lisa Marie's legally stated wishes, then you are effed, lady, I think.
Yeah. And, I think that there is reason for us to believe that Lisa Marie wanted Priscilla completely gone from her will and from Graceland, because don't forget, Lisa Marie had emailed Sofia Coppola multiple times about what she felt was a shocking and vengeful depiction of Elvis Presley in her screenplay for her Priscilla Presley movie that, was going to be a payday for Priscilla. That I can't even remember what it was called. It was an awful movie.
It's called Priscilla, I think.
Yeah, I didn't enjoy it. I didn't like it. But Lisa Marie was saying in the emails to Sophia leading up to her death, because the movie came out after her death, but leading up to her death, she was like, I'm going to speak out against my mother. I'm going to speak out against this movie. I do believe Lisa Marie was like, I'm going to leave all this to my kids. My mom's greedy. I don't like what she's done with my father's legacy. By the way, a legacy that she hijacked. This woman was divorced and then, pushes Ginger Alden out of the way so that she can be the grieving widow. Ginger was Elvis's fiance at the time.
Right, living at Graceland with him.
Exactly. And
found Elvis on the toilet, on the floor. Yeah.
He just hijacks his whole legacy. I mean, you were divorced. You had a child with someone else. Move on.
I know, it's her refusal to get rid of the name Presley. She wangled in her legal battle with Riley, who I feel terrible for. I can't believe she had to fight her grandmother legally for what was willed to her duly by her mother, control of Graceland. Priscilla demanded that she get to be buried at Graceland in the family plot, and she will be buried there. And she's demented. To me, it's shades of Carol Radziwill, like the widow Kennedy. It's like you were married to a Bouvier, a lesser Kennedy, and it's over for you. Move on with your life. But no, we have to, dig up that corpse every minute we get. That'll do it. And that was a catharsis. It really was.